Have you ever wondered why accepting ourselves, including our imperfections, can be such a challenging task? We live in a world that ceaselessly demands perfection. Everywhere we turn, we're bombarded with images of idealized beauty, success, and happiness. This societal pressure to be perfect can distort our self-image, making us feel as though we're perpetually falling short of the mark. It's an exhausting pursuit, one that often leads us down a path of self-doubt and feelings of inadequacy. We start questioning our worth, our abilities, and our worthiness. We begin to see our imperfections as flaws, as things that need to be fixed or hidden away. Yet, this constant striving for perfection can leave us feeling empty, unsatisfied, and disconnected from our true selves. But what if we could change the narrative? What if our imperfections are not our weakness, but our strength? Let's delve into that thought for a moment. Imagine a young woman named Alice, who was always conscious about her freckles. Alice was a vibrant, creative soul, full of life and laughter. Yet every time she looked in the mirror, all she could see were the myriad of freckles that peppered her face. From a young age, she was told that freckles were blemishes, imperfections to be hidden away. So, she did just that. She masked her freckles under layers of makeup, hoping to blend in, to fit the societal mold of perfection. She found herself constantly comparing her appearance to others. Scrolling through social media, she saw faces that were smooth and unblemished. She thought that was the norm, the standard of beauty. She felt her freckles made her stand out, and not in a way she desired. The more she focused on her freckles, the more insecure she became. But then, one day, a chance encounter changed her perspective. Alice met a photographer at an art exhibition. They struck up a conversation, and the photographer was captivated by Alice's freckles. He saw them not as blemishes, but as unique features, a pattern that was distinctly Alice. He asked if he could photograph her, to which she hesitantly agreed. As Alice saw her portraits for the first time, she was taken aback. The photographer had captured her freckles in a way she had never seen before. They were not hidden or masked, but rather highlighted and celebrated. The images were beautiful, unique, just like Alice herself. This was a turning point for Alice. She began to see her freckles not as imperfections, but as what made her unique. She realized that her freckles were not blemishes, but beauty marks that added to her charm. She understood that her freckles were a part of her, a part she should love and embrace, not hide. Alice slowly began to accept her freckles, to appreciate them. She stopped hiding them under makeup, stopped comparing herself to others. She started to love the face she saw in the mirror, freckles and all. She realized that her freckles were not imperfections, but a part of her individuality, her signature. Alice's story is a testament to the fact that what we perceive as our imperfections can often be what makes us unique, what sets us apart. It's a reminder that beauty is not about adhering to a standard or a norm, but about embracing who we are, freckles and all. Alice learned to love her freckles, her unique signature, an imperfection that made her perfectly herself. Alice's story is not unique. We all have our freckles, our perceived imperfections. Imagine a world where we all look the same, act the same, and think the same. It's a rather dull picture, isn't it? Diversity in all its forms is what makes us human. It's what makes us unique, interesting, and beautiful. And yet, we often struggle to accept these differences in ourselves. We focus on our freckles, our perceived imperfections, and forget to see the beauty in our individuality. But what if we could change this narrative? What if we could embrace these imperfections and see them not as flaws, but as an integral part of who we are? This is where the power of self-acceptance comes into play. Self-acceptance means acknowledging and accepting who we are, freckles and all. It's about embracing our strengths and weaknesses, our successes and failures, our beauty and our flaws. It's about recognizing that we are enough, just as we are. And this isn't just a feel-good mantra, it's backed by science. Research has shown that self-acceptance can lead to increased confidence, happiness, and emotional well-being. When we accept ourselves, we are less likely to seek validation from others and more likely to feel satisfied with our lives. We are less likely to experience anxiety, depression, and stress, and more likely to build healthy relationships and strive for our goals. Think of it this way. Self-acceptance is like the foundation of a house. Without it, the house is unstable and can easily collapse. But with it, the house is strong and can withstand the storms of life. Self-acceptance doesn't mean ignoring our weaknesses or shying away from self-improvement. Rather, it's about acknowledging our imperfections and using them as stepping stones towards growth and development. It's about seeing our freckles not as blemishes, but as unique features that add to our beauty and character. Embracing our imperfections doesn't mean settling for less, but celebrating our unique selves. The journey to self-acceptance may not be easy, but it is worth every step. It's a journey that demands patience, courage, and a whole lot of self-love. But where does one start? Begin with self-compassion. It's about acknowledging your feelings and treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you'd offer to a dear friend. When you stumble or falter, remember to extend that compassion inward. Your mistakes and missteps are not a reflection of your worth, but rather, stepping stones on the path of growth. Next, challenge negative self-talk. The voices in our heads can be our harshest critics. However, it's essential to remember that these voices are not always right. When you catch yourself spiraling into self-doubt or criticism, pause. Ask yourself, would I ever speak to someone else in this way? If the answer is no, then you shouldn't be speaking to yourself that way either. Furthermore, focus your energy on your strengths rather than weaknesses. It's natural to zero in on our flaws, but this often leads to an imbalanced view of ourselves. Instead, take time each day to acknowledge your strengths, talents, and accomplishments, no matter how small they may seem. This practice not only boosts your self-esteem, but also paves the way for self-acceptance. Lastly, remember that self-acceptance is not a destination, but a journey. It's not about reaching a point where you're flawlessly perfect. Instead, it's about embracing your imperfections and understanding that they make you uniquely you. Self-acceptance is an ongoing process, and it's okay to have days where you struggle. On those days, remind yourself of how far you've come and the progress you've made. And don't hesitate to reach out for support if you need it. There are countless resources and professionals out there who can guide you through this journey. Remember, you are not alone in this journey, and it's okay to seek help if you need it. Embracing our imperfections, accepting ourselves, is a continuous journey. We've traveled through the realms of self-acceptance today, understanding its power and importance. We've shared the story of embracing imperfection, highlighting that our flaws are not to be shunned, rather they are to be celebrated. Each imperfection is a unique part of our individuality, adding depth to our character and making us who we are. The power of self-acceptance is immense. It's a catalyst for personal growth, fostering a positive mindset and boosting our self-esteem. It's the key to living a more fulfilled and contented life. Remember, the journey of self-acceptance is not a destination, but a path that we choose to walk every day. If you found this video helpful and want to join us on this journey of self-acceptance and personal growth, do subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content. Remember, you are perfectly imperfect, and that's your strength.